Hello everyone. Well, let me tell you something about yesterday, last night in fact. It was 1 a.m. That's today. I recorded a video for you. And my son was there to help me. And then I said, okay, I'll just do it myself. So I clicked and I recorded, I don't know, 15 minutes video. There was nothing to that was recorded, it was just empty. So that happens too. So I'll repeat the same that I got yesterday. It's about mass communication models. There are a few questions that I would like to answer. One student wrote, and it's good that he noticed that the last video ended a bit early. And that's right, that's true. I'll keep a time check. Like it ended in the middle. And not in the middle, but at the end of it. That's true, because the format that I have is maximum 20 minutes. So if I talk more than 20 minutes, it will just go off. The student also suggested that I could record longer videos. I think I won't do that. I'll just keep them somewhere between 12 to 20, preferably around 15, because I just don't want to overburden you with everything. And we have more other classes to attend to also. Then there is another thing that I would like to tell you. It's about the Facebook pages we created. These are a Facebook page for each class section. The reason for Facebook page is that I think it's a familiar platform to discuss things. It's a Facebook group rather. So, a colleague of yours helped me in doing that. And he told me the difference, that there is a difference between a page and a group. So I'm learning a lot basically. So the reason is that Moodle might crash. It is in the habit of crashing. I have seen that so many times. So digital platforms, institutional platforms do fail. So, and also I think a Facebook group is more social media oriented, and there you might be more interested into that. So all the data and material that I am sharing on emails and on Moodle will be shared on this too. Next is that I don't want you to just get involved all day night with my work. So what I'll be doing, you can comment anytime you wish to, but I'll respond Monday, Wednesday and Friday between 3 to 6 p.m. So if you have commented, you can just comment anytime. I'll just go in from 3 to 6 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'll see all the comments, questions, and I'll answer them. It doesn't mean that I might not be checking them earlier, but I think it's better that you are not preoccupied with my answers, your questions. You feel free to comment, but if you don't get an answer, keep in mind that I'll be answering on these 3 days. So the good thing about it is that social media at times involves more hours of work than you normally do. It's not good and healthy for both of us. You can use social media for your own kind of pleasure, but I don't want you to be overburdened by the courses that I have, since I know that some of the students are taking both the courses. So I think that will be unfair, that if you post a comment and I respond to that one, and then again, it will just preoccupy you and hinder your work. So that's about the Facebook page and how we are going to respond. I'll write the protocol in an email also that is clear, and also put these instructions on the Facebook page. So let's get to the uh, chapter. Where the student rightly said, the discussion ended was that I said that in the last video that when communication happens, it's either action on somebody, interaction with somebody, or reaction to somebody. So we did discuss action on and interaction with. The reaction to part was incomplete because the 20 minutes just ended and I had to edit it somewhere where it's useful. This won't happen again. I'm sure I'll just keep it track of time. So the reaction to is most of the time a communication which is a response, and that is a response which is feedback. It's very important in connection of the other question that some students asked. I think it was on the YouTube page that a student who is not one of you but somebody else somewhere else, he asked whether I could explain the feedback process. So that's the feedback. So normally reaction to something is feedback. Feedback is something that makes the linear communication models circular. Now there is a background to that linearity and circularity. In the 50s we have circular models which include feedbacks. Before that, after the Second World War, when research started, most of the models were linear. These were kind of information systems or public information systems where you don't respond, you simply give information, or these are more of the decrees, like you get an SMS from Pakistan Telecommunication Authority, they say, don't post something like that, and I'm just always, when I get any SMS, I think I might have done something. But you can't respond to it, that you can't tell them back that I didn't post anything. The interactive one we discussed are more democratic, like where you have a conversation. In democratic societies, communication systems are developed keeping in mind that these are interactive, like governments getting responses through direct interactions with the leadership and with the public, and also through different other forums like mass media, social media, people's representatives from different pressure groups and all movements and things like that. Reaction to is the feedback. Like when something happens, you react to that, and most of the time that's the feedback. So the important thing is that in the 50s, when democracy started working around the globe, and it's the democratic era as we know, so we had changed the focus from the initial linear model, which is sender, channel, message, and receiver. So that's it, no feedback. So we moved from that one into a circular one, which is a more participatory one, and where reactions are also recorded. So feedback basically is a reaction to something, and then it doesn't mean that the reaction to completes the communication, but rather it moves. Feedback, according to the feedback, adjustment is made in the initial message, and the process goes on. We already discussed the process school and how it works. Then the other point in this course book is about when did communication models become important. And it was through mass communication research, because mass communication research was focused on understanding how media influences human behavior, or how does it affect people. Here we have to understand that mass media research was focused on 4 basic principles. First, knowing the medium. That's the first one. You always try to understand what does the medium consist of? And then the second one is knowing the users and uses and gratification, for example, that theory. The third one is effects. How does media affect people? And that's the most important one. You always try to, many of the students getting into research will always talk about effects, and most of them try to get into impact of television on children, and I always try to tell you that it's a very complicated process. You can't follow the protocols, but some people just think, okay, asking questions to children is easier. But effects is, one of these is basically research on children and everything. And the last one is how media could be made better, a particular medium overall. So codes of ethics, social responsibility and ideas like that are the models that we see as how to make things better, the ethical models that we have. So these were the research trends. The effects trend was very dominant at that time because the world was just getting familiar with television, especially, and radio was kind of everywhere. So we were into effects, knowing how media influences everything. Then there is this part in this chapter which talks about mass communication and communication, human communication. So human communication is the way we do it right now. Most of the time what we do is we try to replicate face-to-face communication in mass communication, but it's not possible because there are many variables like emotional, situational, individual, privacy. All these cannot be replicated in mass communication. But mass communication has its benefits, like mass communication messages are always developed through a group of communicators. It's not only one person developing a mass communication message. And then a technological medium is used to transfer that message to many people about who you don't have much idea. You might be knowing a specific group, you might be knowing a specific attribute about them, but you don't know the whole group. So, and the most important thing is that mass communication cannot be private. It is always public and transparent. You can't just focus on a person or a group of people and say, okay, we are going to send this mass communication message through television to these 200 people scattered in a country in certain places. Because wherever the signal goes, the message will reach. So that's another difference. And then this difference also brings in what we call the intersubjectivity. Mass communication messages are a kind of a constant give and take and adjustments between the senders of a message and the receivers of the message. So that's how the model differs. Because you don't know what you are sending, you have a vague idea, you send, people react to that, and then you say, okay, this is how it doesn't work, this is how it works. So it's a negotiation process that goes on, and that's why it makes it intersubjective. Like within the whole process, a lot of things come and go. So that this makes it. This makes two things very prominent because of the intersubjectivity. That it's always a purposive transmission of messages. Like messages are very purposively devised and adjusted. So this process just goes on. And the last one is that there is no fixed relationship between the senders of a message and the receivers of the message. And that's why all these ideas of understanding how to encode a message and how to decode it, and then mass media researchers trying to understand how the encoding process goes on. Like you have an idea and you pitch story to your newsroom, and they say this would work, this won't work, and then you write a story and your editor says take this out. Why? Because he'll say this is not right, this won't sell. Selling doesn't mean getting money out of it, but understanding of how some people who are in editorial positions have an understanding of the decoding processes that take place amongst the audiences, and there are researchers to support that idea, whether how would it be decoded, and then the whole process of encoding and decoding and message formation and technology makes mass communication an elaborate platform which fails to have certain qualities of interpersonal communication or face-to-face communication, but has the enhanced capacity of changing human behavior at a huge scale. Now, the success of a media message depends upon how good that negotiation process works. What are the circumstances within which media works? So this is the lecture for today. Please do let me know if this has helped you in understanding what we are trying to learn, or it didn't. I am sure, I'll hope that there are more questions that you ask, and it is just not kind of rote learning process, because that would be really nice. Thank you. Have a good day or night.